Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the different models of Autel and what you should really have. Starting off, there are different models, as we all know, starting from like £400 on eBay all the way to like 2-3 grand or even 4 grand if you want to go silly on them. This current one that I have in my hand that I've been using for, well, I've ended up buying 2-3 different one of these now so far. And it's cost me roughly about 3 grand unless you get a specific discount. However, there are different models, may do the same thing for similar price, maybe cheaper. So I'll explain the differences between them just so you can all get an idea, because I've been asked many times what's the difference, what's best. Again, it all varies what you want to use it for and what you want to do with it. So if you're just an independent, an individual, and you know, you just want to delete fault codes here and there, for instance, just to know, let's say you've got an ABS like that, this vehicle has, and you want to know what's going on and you want to fix it, happy days. However, if you want to go into really long depth and you change parts, for instance like a headlight on a Mercedes, on a BMW, and you want to code it in, then I guess, you know, you gotta like pay the top dollars and get something like this with this on. If you don't have this, you cannot code any of the vehicles in. That's Autel for you. So if you're gonna get an Autel and you want to do coding and programming, then I suggest you get the J2534. If not, then you know, you can stick to the things that are like £400-500. However, the cheap stuff, shall we say, that's roughly under a grand, under £1,300, will not come with this. This is a genuine Autel diagnostic machine, and a genuine Autel diagnostic machine can only be bought from specific places such as Bullseye, Eurocar, these places. And if you want to get the aftermarket, I'll be honest with you, they're all the same thing. The difference is that if you get the non-genuine stuff, if it's not certified by UK, whatever they are, a genuine tool that'll come with that sort of code, then they will usually come with that 1 year warranty and 1 year update. However, if you buy it from Bullseye, Eurocar, GSF, etc., then they will come with 2 years update, because the update on this one is roughly, I think, if I'm not wrong, about 1200 or 1300-ish. Might be cheap, I can't remember on top of my head right now. But there's still 6 months on this, so I don't have to pay. But on the other ones, unfortunately, it's a year, and it depends. It goes from like £500-600 for an update all the way to a lot more than this. I think it's about £1,500-1,600 for an update if you go for the top end stuff. Anyways, back to our topic. So if you was to get the cheaper model, you know, it depends. Like I said, if you want to just find a fault code and then just want to know what it is and you want to erase it, happy days, go for something like, you can go for such as the MK808 TS. That's pretty basic, covers specific things, but won't do as much as this one does. But that's one of them. You can also go for the MK906, I think it is. That's a bit more dearer, about £800-900. The other one's like roughly £500, depends where you get it. Again, they're basic, they do specific things, so the difference probably between them is the tool will be a bit quicker maybe. Well, this one, comparing this one to other ones, it's a lot more quicker, holds more capacity. The charging is better in terms of, you know, quicker charge, and also holds its charge better. But then again, it depends. And also, if you went for the cheaper stuff, you'll not have specific things on there. So for instance, let's see if we can just show you. So go into the engine. So he says how you activate test. There may not be this on the cheaper stuff. There'll be none of this, as far as I know. There'll be odd things, but not all of these features. And also, if I come back at this on the cheaper stuff, so the ones that don't have this tool with it, if we come back out, and if you go into, like, for instance, service, that will not exist on the cheaper stuff. So for instance, like this one here, powertrain, or even any of them, and then going into that, none of these, most of these will not be available. because you're limited, and you'll not be able to like code in injectors, code in bits and bobs, or code in this center console or whatever it is, or even coding in a cluster, coding in the headlight, resetting specific things. You'll not be able to do them. You have to go up the ladder to get it. However, if you're a new, like a newly garage, and you're just new into the game, and you want to grab, get a hang of what the things are, then I, suggest you probably start with something basic, because those top things, and it's cost a fair price, I'm not gonna lie. You can start off with that, but I'll be honest, comparing this to Snap-on, I would prefer Autel all day long. I've had Snap-on and it's another ball game. Honestly, it's just a bit confusing. So if you've never really dealt with diagnostic machines, then I'll tell you something, you're gonna struggle with Snap-on. However, with Autel is so straightforward. As you can see, there's nothing crazy about it. It's all there. So for instance, going into hot functions, and it will give you the basics. There's nothing crazy. Whereas Snap-on, it's all different menus, and it's a bit, you probably know if you look at other people's YouTube channel and look at Snap-on. I've not got one right now on me to tell you, but it is difficult. Autel is the best for all new people that have just started into the game, or even for well experienced people. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best experienced person on this planet, but you know what? It's so handy, it's so easy, so dead straightforward. So like moving on to here as well. So like the cheaper models will not have some of these, like the transport mode, rain light sensor, or some of these stuff you will not have. You might have steering angle sensor, odd, maintenance, brake bleed might not be, depends on which model you get. The DPF, most of them will do. Injector, no, you'll only get it with the top end really. You can't really code them in with the other ones. These are the window and door, like calibrate them. Sometimes I've changed, what should we say, a new door's being fitted onto the vehicle and it's not calibrating really well, the window's not going all the way up, or whatever it is, you can calibrate it that way. That's a TPMS, tire pressure monitor sensor. Throttle body, there is so much to it, and that's your programming. That's where you do coding and programming. You will not have this function on the cheaper models. You'll only get this if you have this sort of there's another one as well that I'll show in a second as well. MK908 also has some of these functions, but you'll not be able to do some of the coding and programming because you've not got that. But that's a bit more dearer. That's about probably like £1,300 again. Depends where you get it from. And there's, like I said, there's the MK808 and MK808 BT. The difference between them, one's Bluetooth, like as in wireless from there to here. It's wirelessly Bluetooth, in other words. And the MK808 is literally something you kind of bolt this onto the tool itself. I mean, I'd rather get that, to be honest. That's the difference, really. Again, it goes down to yourself what you want to use it for. If you think, what, my garage or the cars I'm going to buy, I probably need to code bits and bobs in, then you know what, pay the extra. Because over the time of paying a garage, because the garages won't charge you like 20-30 quid, believe me, they'll charge you 100-200 quid for coding something simple as a headlight, for instance. Because you've gone for a cheaper tool that's like 500, and then you wake it out, you've took 3-4 cars to them just for the sake of coding, and that's cost you nearly as much as this top dog here. So it really depends what you want to use it for, but I highly recommend, if you're really gonna buy an Autel, buy something a bit more spec, should we say, something more that you can play with, like this. This is the Autel Maxxis ms908s Pro. Again, there are similar ones to this, similar price roughly. This is probably a year and a half oldish, so there'll be a new version of this, probably quicker, more, the battery capacity is much better. And then going above and beyond this, really, there's one similar to this, a bit cheaper. It is specifically for the keys. It's IM508, which is an older version. Well, it's not old, but it's been in the game for a while. And IM608, which is very good for keys. I mean, that one's roughly about $2.5 grandish. The IM608 I'm talking about. There's a lot more features to it. You can do a lot more compared to the IM508. There's more tools to it, you know, in terms of battery capacity, the gigabyte, and etc. And the functions you have. There's more to it on the IM608. And you know, if you're a key guy and you think, you know what, I do keys, then I suggest you get that, because you also, on the keys, you also are able to do this as well on the programming. You get these functions plus some of the key, I guess. And on the cheaper version model, the one that's roughly 500 quid, IM508, I think you might not get as much as function as this, but you'll have to double check with Autel themselves as well. But they're the ones really. And then, you know, if you want to go further up the ladder and you think, you know what, I want something a bit more better than that, then you can do. You know, you can spend as much as probably $4 grand, $5 grand with Autel. But I'll tell you something, there is absolute no difference between the £5,000 tool and this tool. The mini step up from this is just another tool. All it is, it's a bit quicker so I'll tell you now. So if you're going to do a scan, so look at the scan on this, see how quick it is. So I've done a full scan, and apparently this takes about 20 seconds, 25 seconds. I could be wrong, but that's what they claim. And as you can see, it's gone through all the units. For BMW, it's very quick. For Mercedes, it's dead slow, I'll be honest. When I say dead slow, I mean, you saw it, probably 10, 15 seconds. For Mercedes, it'll take about 2 or 3 minutes for a full scan. However, I'm not in a rush. I mean, if you're in a rush in this world, then hey ho, I guess you can pay the you know, extra 2-3 grand and buy the faster one. Apparently, they claim it's going to be about 5 seconds for a full scan, roughly 5 seconds from what I remember last time that I spoke to them. But I mean, let's not be silly. To be honest, you're going to pay £5,000, £4,000 for a machine that's just a bit quicker doing a full scan. I'll probably say no thanks to that. And anyway, going on to this is the kind of system it has, and Autel is all similar. No matter which one you get, it's all very similar. And if we go back, I'll show you the other sections as well. You can automatically select the VIN chassis. It'll select it and find it for you, or you can manually select it. So here it's just telling me there's an update going on, and then going back, you've got quite a lot of other features here, but I'll be honest, over the years I have never really had to use other bits. I mean, your data manager, I think that collects all the details, the VCI manager as well. There's nothing really special. Battery I've never really used any of them, I'll be honest. Never had to, because I don't deal with them much, to be fair. But the only one I use is this one. And then you've got service as well. Service is the one that was already on there that I did earlier. But you see, you're getting the same one. It's the hot function section, in other words. All you're getting is these. It's just a quicker. But then again, don't forget, if you select the vehicle and you think, wait a minute, you know, if you selected the BMW that we did earlier, these will be eliminated. It'll just say function not available. It's true, it shows you here, but it will say function not available. It's a bit weird, but then if we go onto the home page, it's pretty basic. You've got all these. I'll be honest, I've never ever had to use any of them. The one that I've used quite often here and there is the quick support, and that I probably have used, I'd say, a good few times, only because the system had, shall I say, froze or whatever it were. But you know, I rang Autel themselves, because there's a number on the back of this. That's only if you've, you know, purchased from Autel UK, and they take the code off you and they go through everything themselves. And the last one, I had one of these, the camera was playing up on the rear, and they, you know, told me to drop it off at the nearest branch, which was Bullseye, shall we say. That's where I ended up buying it. So I ended up taking it back to them, and they took about 2-3 weeks, I think more than that actually, about 4 weeks for it to be fixed. And then they fixed the camera, to be honest. But this is not the one that, you know, this is a new one. That was my old one that they fixed at the service. Another question I get asked all the time is, where did you get this casing from? Right, so it's a very good question, and I'll be honest, when I bought this, I loved it. I loved the machine. I was like, I do not want it scratched, and honestly, it's scratchless. It's still like brand new. So I looked everywhere online. I looked on Autel themselves, and I could see that they're selling these frames. You know, the frame, the actual Autel frame here, this one here. I saw it on eBay for about £100, £80-ish, but that's not what I need. I need something like this. And I'll be honest, every video I have uploaded, I have been messaged, where'd you get it from, where'd you get it from? Right, this I purchased on eBay. I think it was about £4 or £5, and I typed in makeup handbag, so let's just say ladies makeup handbag or whatever you want to call it, and boom, there it is. It's a plastic plastic see-through handbag for makeup, only £4. And I'll be honest, it's probably one of the best covers I've seen. And you've got this zip here as well that you can shut, but I think mine's packed in. Mine's retired in that sort of sense. It's not working anymore. But yeah, I mean, they're the differences really. I mean, if there are any questions, you know, you want to ask me, by all means, drop a message in the comment and I will try my best to get back to you. But please don't forget, I get probably tons and tons of message every day, so it's a bit difficult catching up with everybody. But yeah, I mean, that's the way Autel work, and I will always say buy Autel compared to Snap-on. Snap-on is a hell load more in terms of price, and it does not give you the functions that Autel do. Just not user friendly, to be honest. So the Autel that I have comes with all these here. However, the other ones, the cheaper version, should we say, the ones that are like 300, 400, 500 pounds, even 800 pounds, will not come with some of these. But you have to check, because Autel keep updating it, and you know, they have new packaging, new system. These are for your coding and programming. These you need, otherwise you can't code. This is the charger. This is also a charger, and same again. So really, when you pay the top dollars, you get the whole lot, which I think is well worth. But yeah, I mean, that's the best